Saigon did his thing, man. He did his thing. Mr. T meets Mr. Betrayal. Mr. T meets Mr. Betrayal. The kids call me old timer. Why? Cause I'm shining. Brighter than Richard Hart's Black Diamond. That young guy did his thing on the track, man. Sabuda. Yo. Man, you feel that? That funk, that groove. Woo. Yeah. Woo. Don't get mad cause I can tell your future. I throw the shells. It be realer than the Kama Sutra. What up, dog? You look hungry. Want some Ooka Nooba? Or go to your doctor, let them lie to you and get the booster. The booster? Yeah. You can't say that. Why not? Oh man, they gonna let them cancel you like that, man. Who cares? Take you off the social media airwaves. Who cares? What you mean? Who cares? What you mean? Who cares? Hey, you can't be talking like that, man. Yo, you reckless with it. I ain't listen, man.
What's going on, everybody? It's your host, the Crypto Wonder. Hope you're doing well. And let's get right into it. You know what I find interesting? I'm getting to a point right now where I'm 100% accepting the fact of when people show you who they are, you need to believe them. You know, I'm human, so 90% of the time I go by that, you know. And then there's always a part of me, right? Well, I should say 95% of the chance I'll say that and say, you know what, 95% of the time, person shows me who they are, I'm going to believe them. Then there's 5% of me that's like, you know, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Still, even when they show me that they're a snake, I'm going to be like, oh, okay, you know what? Maybe they're not going to really slither, or the fangs and the venom in the fangs won't be acutely poisonous, right? Could be less poison today, right? The tail won't rattle as much, right? Because they have some good in them. That's just me, and you know, that's just part of the stuff I wrestle with, even with this whole thing with crypto, right? You got people like, I mean, hey man, like there was a long time ago, I used to really make my point very clear on where I stood with scammy projects and specifically promoters. I call them janky promoters who always found time to create content to shill garbage projects to their communities, to their followers, to their viewers, right? Knowing that there's a high probability and chance that those projects were scammed, and they've scammed the people. And the shillers and janky promoters would just sail off telling everybody, you shouldn't have, you know, bought anything with anything that you couldn't afford to lose. You should have did your own research. All this stuff. This repetitive cycle of loss that they would just pitch to the people, peddling trash. Used to call them out on it, but you know, because I learned that doing that was sort of like a thankless job, and more so that people didn't care, I slowed down on doing it. I see how other people have gotten, you know, picked up the baton and took the lead with it. Like all across crypto, I see other people doing it. People even outside of crypto calling out folks, promoters that basically wreck their own audience, harm the people, right? It's a thankless job, but I didn't do it for the thanks. And the crazy part about it is you still can't stop the corruption from ensuing. You can't stop the corruption from continuing, because that would mean that you think everybody's just going to follow the rules. You think that criminal behavior just disappears. No, it doesn't. You think that people are not going to use fiat, or they haven't been using the fiat dollar to commit shady dealings and criminal activities? Come on, you gotta be for real. Getting on a campaign to save the world, in a sense, yeah, it's noble, but most, especially in crypto, most people don't care. Especially, they only care when they get hurt or when they lose, and only because they want to be made whole for that period of time. After that, it's it. It's all okay. Well, we know that if we put our hand over this flame, it's gonna burn. So guess what people do? They try to put on gloves and still try their hand, right? Get a little burn. The gloves all melt, and then now they're suffering all kinds of degree burns and scream and want to sue somebody. No, 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 no. This was the nature of the game. This was the nature of the game. You playing with fire, you're gonna get burned. The majority of people don't care. Why? Because you still have fires burning all over the crypto space, meaning scams. Follow my thinking. Follow, just follow me. It's crazy. It's crazy. There's a lot of hypocrisy. But you can't get rid of the hypocrisy. You can't get rid of the contradictions. You should just ask to have the wisdom to identify the hypocrisy and the contradiction when it arises. See, that's the difference. That'll make the difference. So in retrospect, I say that to say this, it's funny how, did y'all know, ladies and gentlemen, that this individual, Kevin O'Leary, this purported rich guy, who appears in Shark Tank. And that's the only thing I've seen him famous for or whatever, He was paid $15 million to shill FTX. Okay? And when he was confronted about that, of course, it was nothing but absolute pure deflection. This is not the conversation. This is not the topic we're talking about, and blah, blah, blah. He deflected the question or the statement. $15 million. Now, it's funny because are the alphabet boys and alphabet girls knocking down his door, talking about they want to investigate him and for him to send them documents so that they can review whatever they need from him? Is the SEC requesting anything from Kevin O'Leary? But what they will do and have done is investigate people in Hex. Now, no disrespect to anybody in Hex, I don't care. But a lot of folks in Hex, they've even said it, and they act like it is absolute new money. New money. As far as the people that made off very well. You put a little bit of monetary energy, and then you were rewarded the 10,000x gains, rewards, right? And if you're part of the inner circle within Hex, because it seems like it was just the inner circle, members of an inner circle of people who knew each other, and not only that, but somehow, some way where information was collected so certain members within an inner circle could get doxxed well enough so that the SEC would be given that information in order to contact these people directly. Like, it's crazy, it's crazy. But we all know that there have been events, right? That the Hexagon community has had and sponsored and, over the years. So who knows how the information was collected, but I'm pretty sure information had to be collected to secure certain, things so that events could take place and things can go without a hitch. But I digress. That's not even the point of what I'm trying to say is, I'm saying the SEC is not going against, or going after, I should say, the likes of Kevin O'Leary, people like Mark Cuban, who's also been on Shark Tank, who last year was connected to the Iron Finance fiasco. Remember that? There's another guy who was shilling Iron Finance, some war stuff, whatever. And what happened to him? But no, you'll have people who stream or who are part of the inner circle and hacks and blah, 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 and they're, right, being investigated or scrutinized. It's crazy. Like the irony of things. And, this is why I say, and it's true, it's real. Like, certain rules just simply don't apply to people who have money, to the wealthy. And even if you're wealthy, there's still levels to that. Because wealth is subjective. There's people that are just at a certain level that, most will never achieve. So the protection that they have and that's afforded to them isn't afforded to us. Make it make sense, people. Right? And as if like FTX is the worst thing that happened. Like no other scams occurred in 2022 or 2021 or 2020 or 19 or 18, like every year. You don't think there's gonna be scams that's not gonna happen in 2023? Come on, man, make it make sense. Let's be for real here. Let's be for real. Let's exercise some type of logic. These are some of the things that that I've identified. I see and that happens all the time in crypto, and it's like, I'm working on accepting people showing me who they are. The percentage rate is going up. It's going from 95 and it's pushing 100. It's definitely pushing 100%. Because I saw that and I'm saying, wow. Kevin O'Leary gets to, be put on blast for taking $15 million and talking about, getting paid $15 million to talk about FTX, right? And no scrutiny that we know of from the SEC, because of course, if that would have happened, that would have been public. But you got some like weirdly unfair, in my opinion, unfair treatment taking place within the Hex community of, promoters, shillers are doing the same thing with shilling something they like or even talk about what they like. They're getting, man, make it make sense, man. Getting investigated? It's weird. And one last thing I'm going to say before I go, because it's going to be a short one. It's kind of unrelated to crypto, but it's still kind of related to phony things. T.I., the rapper, entertainer T.I. So apparently, and I haven't even like really done the deep research, the rumor, deep research to give you like specific or exact details, but apparently people are questioning T.I. for disclosing that what he did was tell on a dead person, right? He pretty much snitched on a relative or deceased person that he knew. I'm not sure if it was a relative or not. And personally, I'm not gonna do the research on that. And come to find out, when I heard that happen, I remember when T.I. had a person in his camp back in the days when he had the Grand Hustle thing going on. He had a guy named Alpha Mega. I guess Alpha Mega was kind of like T.I.'s muscle or security for T.I. When it was disclosed that Alpha Mega was cooperating, I believe on some level, cooperated with authorities and, told on someone, for example, let's just say that he told on someone, T.I. just severed ties with this guy. Severed ties immediately. Because, T.I. was under hot water because he was in trouble too for having, illegal firearms and, right, automatic machine guns and all kinds of crazy stuff that, he served only a year for when other people would have served boku football numbers. Like, my goodness. So during that time period, he severed ties with Alpha Mega, but now it was disclosed that, he disclosed some information, telling on somebody who passed away. And that's fine. But this is the thing again, where folks tell you certain things and they kind of like trying to portray, listen, I'm a man of imperfections and flaws, just like everybody else. But I'm not going to perpetrate a fraud and tell you I'm a gangster and not be a gangster, and which I am not. I am an absolute tax-paying citizen / nerd. I obey the law, and I will tell on you and anybody in a heartbeat. I don't live the life of a gangster at all. At all. Never have. Lived in marginal, in crime-riddled neighborhoods throughout my life. Absolutely. Was born into it. Doesn't mean I became a part of it. There's a difference. Straight like that. So, like they say, I'm a citizen. None of that applies to me. But when people try to pretend like they live a certain way, whether it's they're, uber wealthy and they're just like, hands mixed up in the streets and shady dealings and criminal activity, blah, 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 and come to find out that's not the case. And the contradictions keep on continuing, right? It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. In any case, man, this is part of life, man. That's what happens, man. It's things to think about. Hopefully, you know what you're well and you got your affairs in order and you do what you got to do. But think about something. Actually, I'm thinking about something that I don't know if I'm going to mention right now. And I'm not. But what I'm going to say to y'all is be well, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.